At 63, Tom Cruise remains one of Hollywood's most unstoppable forces, fearless, powerful, and seemingly untouchable. The man who dangles off skyscrapers, flies fighter jets, and performs death-defying stunts as if time itself can't catch him. But behind that perfect smile and polished image lies a story few dare to tell. A story of obsession, heartbreak, and the relentless need for control. From his failed marriages and rumored romances to his decades-long devotion to Scientology, this is the untold truth about the man who risks his life for every film, but refuses to risk it for love. Because for Tom Cruise, perfection isn't just a goal, it's a prison. And the final twist? It's one even Hollywood couldn't script. Do you think Tom Cruise is destined to live alone at the top? Or has he finally found someone who truly understands his world? Drop your guess in the comments before we reveal the truth behind the legend. The dreamer from Syracuse. Tom Cruise wasn't born into fame. He fought his way out of chaos. Raised in near poverty by his mother after his abusive father left, he moved constantly, struggling with dyslexia and ridicule from teachers and classmates. Refusing to quit, he memorized lessons by sound and turned his frustration into fierce determination. Acting became his escape, a way to find control, identity, and purpose. After seeing a play, he knew where he belonged. At 18, he left home with $500 to chase his dream in New York. From that moment, Cruise wasn't chasing fame. He was mastering chaos through discipline and performance. The power of control. For Cruise, control was never just about performance. It was about identity. Every move, every word, every interview is calculated. Directors call him intense, co-stars call him precise, and friends call him impossible to read. Behind that perfection is a man who fears one thing more than failure: losing control of how the world sees him. Mimi Rogers, the introduction to Scientology. In 1987, 24-year-old Tom Cruise was Hollywood's golden boy after Top Gun. Disciplined, ambitious, and untouchable. Then came Mimi Rogers, an older, confident actress who introduced him to Scientology. What began as curiosity became conviction. The faith's promise of control and mastery appealed to Tom's lifelong drive for order and strength. But as his devotion deepened, their marriage unraveled. Friends said he grew obsessed, living with a monk's discipline, leaving no space for intimacy. By 1990, they divorced. Cruise's fame soared, and Scientology became central to his life. Ironically, Mimi gave him both the system that fueled his success and the one that would ultimately isolate him. Nicole Kidman, the golden marriage that cracked. Then came Nicole Kidman, his co-star in Days of Thunder, his equal in talent, beauty, and ambition. They were Hollywood's golden couple, untouchable. But behind the red carpets, their marriage was under strain. Sources say Nicole never fully embraced Scientology, and the church never fully accepted her. As Tom's commitment to his faith deepened, she drifted further away. In 2001, after 10 years and 2 adopted children, the fairy tale was over. Katie Holmes, the fairy tale that turned to fear. Years later, he found love again, or so it seemed. Katie Holmes, America's sweetheart, became the face of his greatest romantic spectacle. Who could forget the moment he jumped on Oprah's couch declaring his love? But what looked like passion soon turned to pressure. Reports claim the church monitored every aspect of their marriage, and by 2012, Katie had secretly planned her escape, filing for divorce and taking their daughter Suri with her. The world watched as Tom Cruise's perfect image cracked for the first time. Faith, fame, and isolation, the Scientology obsession. For Tom, Scientology became both his armor and his prison. He credits it for saving his life, for giving him focus, strength, and clarity. But that same faith has isolated him from those closest to him. Former insiders allege that the church shaped his friendships, managed his relationships, and even tried to match him with partners who fit their image of perfection. To the public, he's the loyal face of Scientology, the poster child of power and discipline. But behind closed doors, it's said the cost has been devastating. Distance from his children, the loss of intimacy, and a life lived under constant surveillance and control. The aging action. Hero. Most actors slow down with age, but not Tom Cruise. In his 60s, he's still sprinting across rooftops, clinging to planes, and pulling off stunts that would terrify men half his age. To the world, it looks like dedication. But those close to him say it's more than that. It's his obsession with proving he's still in control. Every impossible stunt is another way to outrun time, aging, and the vulnerability he refuses to face. Cruise doesn't just perform these feats for the audience. He does them for himself, a reminder that as long as he's defying gravity, he can defy everything else that threatens to pull him down. The hidden loneliness. Despite all the fame, Cruise's private world is small, perhaps even lonely. Reports say he spends most of his time surrounded by church members and production staff, not friends or family. He's rarely seen with his children. His daughter Suri, now a teenager, hasn't been photographed with him in years. Those who've worked with him describe a man who's polite, charming, but emotionally sealed off, as if the only place he truly feels alive is on a movie set. For someone who can command the skies, Tom Cruise seems unable to land anywhere close to home. The latest affair. Ana de Armas, 2025. But then, something changed. In early 2025, whispers began to spread. Tom Cruise had been spotted with actress Ana de Armas. The two reportedly met through mutual film circles, and soon, cameras caught them dining quietly in London, laughing, and later, arriving together by helicopter for a private screening. Over the next few months, they were seen walking the streets of Mayfair, disembarking from yachts in Menorca, and even holding hands during a stroll through Vermont. Hollywood went wild. Was Tom Cruise finally letting someone new into his carefully guarded world? Sources close to the actor claimed he was smitten, describing Ana as grounded, confident, and refreshingly independent, a woman who didn't need his fame to shine. But as always, the speculation began. Was this romance genuine, or another perfectly timed narrative? A distraction from controversy? A story designed to remind the world that Cruise can still fall in love? Whatever the truth, one thing is clear. For the first time in years, Tom Cruise looked genuinely happy. And maybe, just maybe, Ana de Armas was the one person who reminded him what it feels like to be human again. The legacy he's building. Tom Cruise's greatest love may not be a woman, it's cinema. He's dedicated his life to preserving its magic, championing practical effects over CGI, and resisting the streaming era's shortcuts. In a constantly shifting industry, Cruise remains the last true believer, a man whose devotion to structure, risk, and discipline defines both his films and his life. At 63, he's not just an actor but an empire, defying time, gravity, and expectation. Yet behind the perfection lies a quieter truth. Every daring stunt and high-speed chase isn't just performance, it's escape. From heartbreak, from aging, from vulnerability. In mastering control on screen, Cruise has surrendered it off-screen, losing marriages, distance from his children, and perhaps the peace he's spent a lifetime chasing. The irony? The man who can survive anything on screen couldn't survive love off it. Because when your entire identity is built on control, there's no room left for chaos. And love, at its core, is chaos. Tom Cruise has built a life that appears unbreakable, a fortress of fame, faith, and flawless success. Yet behind the cameras and the calculated perfection is a man who can't stop running. Running from failure, from pain, and perhaps most of all, from himself.